This is my first time going live on YouTube, so bear with me. But I just like I'm pitching right now, and I wanted to give you a little bit of tips while you're pitching because I know a lot of you are here for like PR and writing ops, and I wanted to give you a little bit of tips and the way that I approach it. I have been getting a lot of really good responses from editors these days, and yes, I want to talk a little bit more about that. And I'll leave this in my feed so that if you don't see it now, you can see it later. So the first thing is you want to think about how to master your messaging, and that's really what's going to set you apart from everybody else and from whatever other people have to say. And the way to do this is really to avoid using vague words and words that people like overused in the past, and think about what makes your story like sexy, like what makes it cool. Like when an editor opens your email, you want to think about how is your story different than other people that they have opened in the past, like the emails that they have opened in the past. And then you want to think about your angles. So if you are not getting press coverage, it's probably not so much about the story that you're pitching. Like it's not your story or you or your client's story, but it's probably that you're only telling it from one angle. So people generally have like 12 to 15 angles. They have like a lot of different ways to tell that same story. It's like when you have a big message and you're trying to share it on social media, there's a lot of different things you can say about that one thing. And that is the same for people and their stories. And so you want to figure out what those angles are. Usually people have like 12 to 15 angles, and you want to write that down in paper. And I teach you all about how to do this in my course. And then the third thing is that you want to serve the editor. And what that means is like you want to think about when you're pitching, how is the story going to help the editor? How is it going to add to the content they're already publishing? What are some incentives that you can give the editor for them to cover your story? Like when I was and the editor in chief of a publication, I would always like obviously, you always want to look at who is the best fit and who deserves the coverage. But if there are people who already fit that bill and have an audience that they can also share that article to, I know that that's going to increase traffic on that article, and that's going to help us with backlinks. So it's going to help our website. So it's like it's helpful in both instances. It's helpful for me to feature them, and it's helpful for them to get that press feature. And I talk a lot about like these little tricks that I learned from working in editorial and working in PR. And these can be really beneficial because a lot of people don't think about how to really add incentives when they send pitches, or what incentives they can add. And there's like way more than one. And then the last thing I always like to do to help expedite exposure is consider the ways that you can get coverage faster. So usually that's going to be like you're getting, you want to try to like relate your pitch back to a special date. Like that's one of the big things you want to try to relate your pitch back to something timely, so that you can get coverage now and not like 4 months from now. Because usually like sometimes editors will say, oh yeah, I love this story, like I'll follow up or something like that, and then they just forget about it because they have a lot going on. But if you connect it to something timely, then that will make it easier for them to cover like right away, like that month, which is just what you want, right? Because you don't want your pitch to be sitting in their inbox for like 7 months and then they finally cover. You want to get coverage now, like this month. And I actually had a client who I started working with in April. She was a student of the MUSE Method, which is my course, which teaches business owners how to get press. And because she purchased the course that month, she also got 2 coaching sessions with me. So in those coaching sessions, and with the knowledge that she already had with the course, we worked on her pitches and on the publications that she wanted to be featured in. And she got a feature in her dream, like one of her dream publications, within that same month. So I started working with her in April. She got a feature like last week, which is like mid-April. And I thought that was amazing. And the reason why she got that feature was because she connected her story to a special date, which I always tell people to do. It's like the number one thing you should be doing. But if you think like, I really need help on how to do this, like I don't even know what my angles are, I don't know what my messaging is, I don't know like what sets my brand apart. I don't know how to like connect it to something timely. Like, how would that even make sense? My brand doesn't even make sense with special dates or whatever. I teach you like from A to Z. Like, I teach you everything like on how to do that. And then at the end of the course, you have like a success module, and it's all about how you can implement the strategies that I teach you into your own brand. And I give you like the first 10 publications that you can start pitching, so you can start getting like press placements today. And if you're a writer, that goes for you too, because it's all about sending editors really good ideas. And the approach of pitching should be different than normally people just pitch like one product and then they kind of just leave it at that and then they go on to like the next publication. But that approach needs to be revamped. And I know this because I was an editor, so I can tell you like this is exactly what you need to do. When I was pitching in PR, I was approaching things way differently. And then after I became an editor, I'm like, okay, this is what editors actually need. And it has worked so well so far, like with my student. I had another student who also got a placement on Yahoo. She's an author, and that was amazing to see. I got another student who was like, "Oh my God, I have so much clarity about my messaging. I am so excited." And she just like she was like, "I've been waiting for someone to like help give me clarity, and I've worked with three different people, and until I found you, like I didn't understand what I was doing, or like I didn't sort of have that like sexy messaging." So that was awesome. So like seeing how much it's already like the course has already helped so many people that have enrolled, and like how they're actually getting results, it's amazing. Like, it makes me so happy. And if you enroll now, let's say you're like, okay, I need more help, I want to know how to do this, like I want to get press, I want to like actually I want to tell a story, because I was just on Instagram and I got this message from a PR agency, and the PR agency was basically telling me, like, it was a pitch, and the pitch said, let me try to pull it up on my computer because I want to read it to you. Let me tell you. Okay, so it said, "Hey Swanee, I represent a PR firm." I'll just leave out the personal details. Um, I specialize in helping entrepreneurs and influencers grow their brand and get featured as the go-to expert in their industry. We're currently working on an article. She sent me the name of the article, which will be titled 15 Inspirational Stories of Self-Made Women, and believe you'd be the perfect fit. You'd be featured alongside 14 notable self-made women. It's a digital newspaper. It would include like your short story paragraph, your success story, a picture of you, and social links. And then it said, we're selling spots in this article for $500 each, and we'd love to have you in it, et cetera, et cetera. And so I was like, $500, like that is, I mean, it's totally worth it, because like that's, people will pay that for PR. Like, people will pay that for PR because they understand the value of media placements, how having media placements is going to set you like up here, like to anyone that looks at your brand. If you have a media placement, you're automatically an authority figure in that space. You're automatically more credible, and you get exposure to tons of different new audiences. You get backlinks to your site, so your site, it improves your site's SEO score because you're featured on credible news outlets, like a ton of things that will help you and your business if you get coverage, which I'm not going to go through that now because I'm sure you know since you're here. But I was like, wow, $500 for one placement only. Like, you are having one placement in one magazine article, and you're paying $500 where you can learn how to do this yourself. Like, you can just learn how to pitch yourself with my course, and you can have that knowledge for the rest of your life. So anytime you have a new launch, anytime you have a rebranding, anytime you have a new product, like anything that you have, if you already know how to pitch yourself, if you already know that framework, you don't have to go and pay $500 per placement, like per one placement. That's going to feature you in one magazine. That's probably like a local magazine. It's not going to have the reach that national press is going to have, you know? And I teach you exactly how to do all of that. And yeah, like I said, my clients and the students I have taken and have been getting really cool results. I have been using the method as well. Like, I've been pitching and I've been using it, and I get editors telling me, I love this idea. um, all the time. Like I get responses like that, which is really cool to see. So if you're interested, I'm gonna leave the link down below, and I'm gonna figure out how to make this live, um, how to like add it to my profile somehow so you can go back and watch it. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the link down below if you're interested for the course. And even if you're not, like if you're not ready to buy it or whatever, try to implement everything that I already shared in this live, which is, let's go through it one more time. It's master your messaging, so what sets you apart, and avoid using vague words or vague phrases that have been used in the past. Then you want to do unlock your angles, so think about different angles that you could pitch, not just the one angle that you've probably been pitching. And then you want to do how do I serve the editor? How do I make this an enticing offer for them and help them say yes to this offer? And how do I expedite this exposure? To what timely thing can I connect this pitch to that will help me get coverage this month? And yeah, I wish you good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll leave you the link and all the info on here. Thank you for watching.